Hi, thanks so much. Thank you for showing up today and participating in this online informational session about Nutrametrics custom health solutions. We are all here together because we are changing the face of healthcare, one health professional at a time. And that's our mission. That's what we hope to provide for you in this session here today. So you must have shown up for some reason where you want to be a change. You want to be part of the wellness revolution. You want to be part of the health and wellness industry in some way. And so we are excited to show you what we're doing with Nutrametrics Custom Health Solutions. And so I am Sarah Tegender. I live right outside of the Boston area. I'm the Nutrametrics Director of Sales. I've been with the corporate staff for a few years now working with them, and I'll tell you a little bit more about my story as we go and as I introduce our speakers for this session. But I'm someone who's really passionate about being a part of the movement of change that's happening across the country with healthcare. But who are you? And maybe you fit into, one of these four, buckets of why you're here. And I again want to applaud you, because there must have been something that someone either said to you or forwarded to you, or that you saw that we posted that made you jump on here today. And so we just hope that we really can answer that for you, and spend some time wisely here to get some information. But you might be a patient who is confused by choices. And I find myself in that boat as the mom of two, almost three kids now, making a lot of food choices for my family, helping them when they have, noses that need to be wiped. And as we're, entering in, a cold season or whatever it is, it gets really confusing. I don't have any magazines in my house. It's not like I have Cosmopolitan sitting around. I fast forward through commercials on television. But I still am part of community groups and moms groups on Facebook, and I, Google some things on, Dr. Google, which no one should ever do, and it is really confusing. And sometimes I don't have enough time with my licensed health providers to be able to ask all the questions. And sometimes they don't even know all the answers, or, they send me on a wild goose chase back to the pharmacist, or, back to the drugstore. And it all can be really overwhelming. So maybe you're a patient like me who gets a little overwhelmed and confused. You might be on here as a provider who's worried about those patients who are Googling and finding some misinformation, worried about the things that your patients are consuming day in and day out and where they're getting it from, because there's a lot of tainted ingredients and food sources, and just overall misinformation about what is right for a particular age group or a particular even genetic makeup. You might be someone, though, who wants to make change in your own community. You're seeing that things are changing in healthcare. You're seeing that your private practitioners are struggling to keep their doors open. You're seeing that healthcare is turning into really a big business, and it's being taken over by a lot of big corporations. And you want to be someone who is changing that in your own town. It was really different. If I talked to my grandparents, the same person that delivered their babies, pulled their teeth, and, helped them when they had a fever. And although I'm not advocating for, necessarily a one-stop shop, I love my specialists, and I think healthcare has definitely evolved since then. It definitely is a lot more impersonal, where you're more just a patient number, really, than having a relationship with your providers these days. You might be someone who either works in an office, works with a practitioner, is a practitioner yourself, and you're seeing that regulation is changing. And this is happening for patients who don't know, what their deductible is going to be, what copays are going to be, how much even routine blood work is going to cost. And on the provider side, providers don't know how much they're going to be reimbursed, what they're going to be paid for their services, if there's going to be enough money at the end of the month sometimes to cover the outrageous overhead that's happening in healthcare today. And so if you're one of those people, that's what we're here for. We're here to provide some solutions, to have a discussion with you today about how Nutrametrics is stepping in and really changing the face of healthcare. And that's what you're going to be able to learn. You're going to be able to learn why we continue to be the leading force in the healthcare industry. And we have wellness solutions, and we really prioritize education. We love being a part of the weight management industry. It's customized nutrition, and it's a personalized service. It's a system for forward-thinking health providers. The forward-thinking, busy provider who wants something that is seamless, that they can integrate turnkey into their practice. Something where they can give education to their patients, but they also can have the support for their staff and themselves as they go throughout their busy day, but being able to have solutions and answers for patients who are asking a lot of questions, because just the way that healthcare is today, it is very confusing. And patients are demanding, they're demanding different options. They're demanding, diet advice from their providers. They're demanding supplement advice from their providers. They're realizing that the, old advice of just moving more and eating less doesn't work for everyone. And, as obesity continues to rise in this country. And so that's who this is for. So I hope you stay to the end so you can really get all of your questions answered around this. But, just quickly, who am I? And where did my journey start? Well, it's got to start with my dad. This is Dr. Dan Witkowski, who practices in the Boston area. And you see Dad here doing a cooking demonstration at the local community hospital. But Dad didn't always know anything about nutrition or how to heal his patients with, food and education and adjuncting with supplements and understanding genetics. Dad was traditionally trained at Tufts Medical School. He is a very conservative obstetrician gynecologist. Went on a few years ago to become double board certified in lifestyle medicine. And Dad was just looking for some solutions to answer to his patients about, what should I eat, doc? How do I not have to be on this pharmaceutical that my PCP gave me for the rest of my life? How can I keep myself and my family living and enjoying, life at the end of our years? And he didn't have all those answers. And Nutrametrics was referred to him from one of his colleagues. And he said, wow, this is some great education. And I don't know exactly why. I was in college at the time, but he decided to enlist my help to market and bring this to his practice, to integrate some services. And I just fell in love with the education. I'm so proud of Dad that he now, is a complete rock star, and a couple times a year likes to train and lecture with some of his colleagues to teach them how to integrate lifestyle medicine principles, how to implement and integrate Nutrametrics into their practices. And he's still a very busy practitioner delivering babies, and is the chief of obstetrics and gynecology at his local hospital, the same hospital where my mom was born. My mom and dad have been married for 35 years, over 35 years. They have 6 kids together. And so Dad's really been a great forerunner in his community and just really in the country right now in integrating these services. And I completely fell in love with what we were doing in his practice, did a little bit more in the community, and was really excited when I was able to partner on the corporate side with Nutrametrics to bring this across the country. But it started too with just myself and saying, what is the food choices that I'm making, and how can I help myself and my friends? And this is me when I was actually a new mom, and I was at Whole Foods teaching some people about what to eat. I thought that it would be best if I, just became, speaking just directly one-on-one with people about food choices, about supplement choices, about their weight, and creating conversations locally. And then I met some of my best friends today, Brandy Murphy, who's the director of Nutrametrics, Dr. Deidre Mason, who's the clinical director with Nutrametrics, and had the opportunity to sit side by side with them to learn the science behind why food, why nutrients, why supplements, why they work the way they work for different people's genetic makeup, for different people's chief complaints, and how we can bring that into practices. And it's been really fantastic to then be able to bring that into local practices and beyond just my dad's practice, but also bring that around the country and to be able to speak, on platforms like this with you today and share with you the journey of how Nutrametrics really is changing the face of healthcare one person at a time. And I know you can do this too if you just, take some action. So I'm excited because the patients are getting their advice from, where? Where are they getting it from? Is it, Google, Dr. Google? Is it, friends and family? And if they're not getting advice from health professionals, patients are getting it from somewhere else. And when that happens, the care of the patient transfers out of the hands of the health professional. So we want to show you how Nutrametrics puts in education, whether it's posters, flyers, webinars, things like that, that are great for settings even like primary care. We have lots of chiropractors, acupuncturists, massage therapists, physical therapists that are attracted to Nutrametrics because of the education that we provide. A lot of providers are also now using a lot of the tools that we give them to be able to educate their patients, do group medical visits, create webinars themselves, create community events. Specialists, whether it's dermatologists, plastic surgeons, podiatrists, optometrists, pediatrics, endocrinologists, the list goes on, are really thrilled with some of the specialized, customized, unique services that we have, and that they're able to offer these solutions to their patients. They can spend more time with them, giving them more services that they might go somewhere else to be able to receive. And mental health is also a field that's been growing quite tremendously. And I love the creative ways that our mental health providers integrate Nutrametrics into their practices. And that's been really fun to watch, to how families have been changing, how children have been changing, how patients have been changing. And it really just starts sometimes with a diagram, an infographic, a conversation that, then just sparks some interest. And with the trust of their provider, with the knowledge and expertise, with the training that Nutrametrics gives, it's been a really great way. So to be able to spark those dialogues, get the conversation started, and move the needle towards wellness. So this is something that my entire life changed really the moment that Nutrametrics came into my dad's practice and my dad brought me into the conversation. And this is something that you can do too. And I want to kick off this session by introducing you to one of our trainers that's been with Nutrametrics for many years, started as a provider and now is, one of these community advocates, one of our top Nutrametrics consultants, Larry Rogowski, out of Manhattan. I want to see if we can get Larry on, and you can hear a little bit about his story and why he's so passionate about Nutrametrics, how it works, and some of these tools that I've been mentioning.
I'm Larry Rogowski, and I'm so happy that you were able to join me. I'm going to take you through a brief overview of what Nutrametrics is. First of all, what it provides for licensed health professionals, and then what it provides for people who want to work with licensed health professionals. So my background is as a licensed massage therapist and integrative nutrition coach. I have been using Nutrametrics as part of my practice for the past 12 years. And I decided to utilize it because I was seeing about 20, 25 clients every week as a massage therapist and health coach. And I knew I needed something else to integrate into my practice that added more value and that would also do something so that I wasn't always a hands-on practitioner. So I brought Nutrametrics into my practice and things really took a big shift. Now I'm going to go through what's available through Nutrametrics, what the company is about, what is offered, and you'll have lots of questions probably at the end of this. And then we can follow up later on. But let me get started here with Nutrametrics Custom Health Solutions. So Nutrametrics provides a complete suite of customized cutting-edge solutions exclusively for health professionals. There's a wide variety of products and services designed to better serve patients and generate ancillary income for the practice. So there's a changing paradigm, and if you're a health professional watching this, you definitely know what I'm talking about, especially if you are a physician with your own practice. There's rising business costs and rising drug costs, shrinking insurance reimbursements. I mean, how many hours have you spent, or your office manager has spent, with dealing with the insurance companies trying to get the reimbursements that are owed to you several months in the past? It's not easy, and it can be very, very frustrating. And of course, there's changing regulations and reform initiatives. There's been a lot of changes over the past few years in the healthcare field. So many physicians are really being sort of crunched and not able to practice the way that they always wanted to practice. There's tons of articles out there. You can Google it and take a look at it for yourself, but here's just some examples right here from CNN Money, from Forbes. It's just a really tough time for doctors to be in private practice and to have a viable business, to have the sort of practice that they want to have and also make the kind of living that they want to make. So there are alternatives, of course, and Nutrametrics provides a tremendous alternative to help to alleviate some of the challenges that come with having a practice, a health practice, medical practice. 23% of family physicians now provide ancillary services, things like medication dispensing, weight loss services is a big one, in-office diagnostic tests, nutritional counseling. Now, some of the people watching this, you may be a nutrition coach, so pay close attention here, because you can be very valuable to the health professionals that are out there and help to integrate wellness into their practice. And through Nutrametrics, it makes it really easy to do that and gives you a system to do it with. Cosmetic services like Botox and fillers and things that, you know, maybe most doctors never thought of before, but are thinking a little more outside the box, like with acupuncture and massage. Great things to have as part of your practice. Of course, me with a background in massage therapy, I think every doctor should have a massage therapist on staff, right? Bringing these sort of alternative therapies into the practice, they'll find that their patients are happier for sure and are getting more value from the practice as a whole. It's estimated that some primary care practices may be able to earn as much as 15% or more from ancillary services. It's pretty amazing. $40 billion is spent every year on supplementation. So think about it. For all of you listening to this webinar, what supplements do you use yourself? Where are you getting them from? For the health professionals on this webinar, where are your patients getting them from? What are they using? Is it something as simple as a multivitamin or an omega-3 fish oil? $80 billion is spent on weight loss. How many of your patients, their health challenges could be alleviated by losing inches, losing some weight? 8 in 10 Americans have great confidence in dietary supplements. So it's no big secret here that most people are taking some sort of a supplementation. And where should they be getting it from? Where do they want to get this information from? 55% of people want to get this information from their doctor. 23% want to get it from their dietitian. Right? Some people are getting advice, you know, from their trainer at the gym, or from their health coach, or from their parents, or a neighbor, or a friend. Doesn't it make sense to get the information from someone who's licensed or certified and trained and educated in it? Okay, so let's take a look at some of the most popular brands out there, and they contain some things that we may not want to be putting into our bodies, like artificial chemical dyes, artificial chemically synthesized flavoring agents, preservatives, disintegrating agents, bulk fillers like talc and starch and hydrogenated oil, chemical coatings. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want those things going into my body. So let's take a look at one of the most advertised products on the market, Centrum, and look at some of these highlighted items. Do you want to put these in your body? Blue 2 Lake, hydrogenated palm oil. And then what are we putting into our kids? Sugar, artificial flavoring, pre-gelatinized starch. There's those colors again. Not a great idea to put these into our kids. The food they're getting is bad enough. You know, of course, we want to start with the food, make sure they're getting good stuff in there. And then if we're going to give them supplementation, we want to give them the best of the best. So Nutrametrics is clearly at the right place at the right time. Nutrametrics is helping health professionals generate additional revenue for their practice, which is key because of all the changes in the health field, while providing wellness-based products and services that patients are asking for. Patients are already looking for these things, so doesn't it make sense to bring it? here's the mission of Nutrametrics here. Nutrametrics Custom Health Solutions. We believe patients should have access to recommendations for healthy living and products that promote optimal wellness from their trusted health professionals. This is why everything we do is focused on helping health professionals implement customized wellness programs that benefit the patients and the practice. By providing health professionals with science-based nutritional interventions, revolutionary technology, wellness-based education systems, and trained implementation consultants, Nutrametrics is changing the face of healthcare, one health professional and one patient at a time. Pretty lofty mission, but very doable, and it takes time, and it takes an army, really, and it takes an army of health advocates and doctors and all the alternative practitioners out there working together. Since 2004, this company has generated over $40 million, and it's growing every year, as you could see on that graph. Nutrametrics is also what's known as a product brokerage company. This is really key. So for me as a health professional, when I first looked at this, I wanted to know about the quality of products. Now, being a product brokerage company means we can do the best in breed in products because we don't manufacture our own products, and we're not beholden to any one manufacturer. So if we're working with a manufacturer and they're not up to our standards, we can simply cut ties with them and go to another one to get the things that we need. We also are able to use multiple manufacturers so we get the best in breed in products. It makes us very malleable in the industry. There's a great commitment to quality. You could see here, every product is manufactured with strict quality control guidelines and continuous quality control monitoring. It's not just a one-time, it's ongoing monitoring of the products that are getting shipped out of the warehouse, which is in North Carolina. Actually, that's where things are shipped from. They're inspected regularly, and of course there's GMP compliance, good manufacturing practice, which is key, and that's essential when you're looking at any supplements. This is the line that really got my attention, and that I thought, well, this is smart. Isotonic capable nutrition. What you're seeing here on this slide are a bunch of bottles that have powder in them. Now the powder is mixed with a specific amount of water to make them isotonic. Now, as you know, isotonic means the same pressure. So it's the same pressure as your bodily fluids when it's mixed with the right amount of water. So it's to be taken first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. It's like a shot, and you're getting about 95% of what it says in the bottle. It's basically bypassing your digestive tract. It's going, right through the stomach into the small intestine where the nutrients are getting absorbed. So it's really smart, great delivery, great compliance, and the results are huge because the nutrients are actually being delivered into the body in a very effective way, in a quick way. Patients love it because they're easy to take and they taste really good and they feel the results from them. Now they're also customizable. So you can see there in the middle, this custom cocktail. Now I love this. I have my own custom cocktail. It has my name on the back and has all the things that I use daily in one container. So it's very easy. It's specifically made for me by the company, and it takes all the guesswork out. I love this. Great value to the health professional because you can customize specifically for each patient or create different formulations for specific health challenges that your patients face. And then the value for the patient is great because it's one-stop convenience. It's simplified, customized nutritional support. And of course, there's an auto ship program, so it's easy to refill and the patient will never run out. Now we have a gene snip program. This is, I think, really cool. It's a laser approach to wellness. Tests 48 genetic variations, and it's comprehensive for health practitioners. There's a gene snip guide that you get educated on, and you learn how to read the results of this gene snip. So a health action plan to support each individual's metabolic and fitness needs is included with this. Great value for the health professional, of course. And then for the patient, they're getting the laser approach to customized nutrition for optimal wellness. TLS Weight Loss Solution and TLS Select. I love this because most people want to lose weight, or they just want to at least be healthy and keep their weight at a good place. This is not just about bars and shakes and pills. This is about education, and it's about eating whole foods. Now, of course, there are supplements that go along with the program to support a metabolism that's been through years of yo-yo dieting and it needs repair. So there are products to go along with it, but first and foremost, it's about education and eating foods that work well for your body, and it's about creating a lifestyle. So patients love this. There's a detox program. You can see here on the slide, there's a 21-day challenge kit because people love a 21-day challenge. So we've created all that and marketed it that way, and very smart. So we get great compliance. Now, each health professional will get a Nutrametrics consultant for support. Now, if you're someone watching this and you're not a licensed health professional, you may be in this role as a Nutrametrics consultant. You may have a real passion for health and wellness, and you want to spread that word and work with doctors. Here's your chance to do that. A Nutrametrics health consultant is the partner to the physician. This person will assess the practice and come up with a proposal. We'll come up with a customized implementation plan. We'll train the staff. We'll get everybody educated. And there's ongoing support and monitoring. So if you're someone that wants to be a Nutrametrics consultant, there's specific trainings to do that. It's a 2-day training, and you learn exactly how to speak to doctors and how to work with them and how to implement our products and services into their practice. So the value for the health professional is tremendous. You're getting someone free of charge that has a vested interest in your practice and your mission, right? And we'll personalize a program specifically for your office. Now, the patients love this because they're going to get their solutions for optimal wellness from a trusted source, their own health professional. Doesn't that make sense? Now, we have nutrametrics.com, which has all the information you could possibly want. Tons of education is on this website. There is detailed product information from frequently asked questions to all the product ingredients, all the science behind them. There's nutritional blogs. There's something called a nutraphysical, which is about a 15-minute survey that a patient can take, and they'll get recommendations of what products are right for their specific lifestyle. And then, of course, as a health professional, you can go through this with them before they actually purchase anything. It's online 24/7, easy to search and navigate. There's cashback rewards for the patients, so that patients have even more incentive to purchase their products online rather than just directly in the office, which makes everything automated and easy for the practice. That's really key. And as a Nutrametrics consultant, I love to get the patients in the practice ordering through the website, so everything is automated. And it's just much easier that way. Everybody's getting what they need. It's total win-win. There's great support materials, of course. There's a wellness catalog, product rec cards, patient handouts, posters, a waiting or exam room area displays. There's great videos that can be played in the waiting room, patient education seminars. Everything is provided, all the materials that you could possibly need to make it successful. So how does it work? So the Nutrametrics consultant is trained, and we'll do a discovery meeting with the physician, or not just a physician, but whoever the health professional is, with acupuncturist, a chiropractor, massage therapist. So there'll be a discovery meeting, and then we'll submit a customized proposal, and then comes up with a plan. The health professional will evaluate the proposal and make the necessary adjustments, right? And then it gets implemented. The consultant supports the implementation, training, and ongoing success of the practice to help meet the health professional goals. Now, I'll tell you, my experience, I went from working in my practice, seeing a lot of clients, doing a lot of massages, a lot of health coaching, to more of a consulting role where I work directly now with a wide variety of licensed health professionals implementing these products and services into their practice. It's freed me from being in a full-time practice, right? It's given me a lot of time and freedom to do other things in my life that I've been wanting to do, things I've been passionate about. And it's also created this wave of wellness throughout the industry where I sleep really well at night. I feel really good about, and I'm helping health providers, I'm helping their patients. It just feels great.
That was great. Thank you so much, Larry. It gave a great overview. Larry is always really bright and brief and gives it to you in a nice little package. And so I thank Larry for that. And so I'm not exactly sure why you showed up today. I mean, are you someone, again, who's confused by the choices and thinking that Nutrametrics might have some great solutions? Are you a provider who's really worried about your patients? Or are you someone like me who's really passionate about bringing better healthcare to your local community, and then maybe someday even across the nation? Or are you someone else who's seeing the writing on the wall of what's going on with healthcare, knowing that changes need to be made, and knowing that you could be someone who could help change some practices in the right direction, so they're able to keep their doors open or provide more comprehensive services. For whatever reason that is, whatever you're frustrated about, or maybe you've just been hearing about Nutrametrics and the success that we're having, and you want to see how it could work for you, Nutrametrics definitely rocks, and it's something that you can get started with right away. And it's not theory. As Larry said, we've been in business now for, many years. And this is something that's attracted thousands of providers across the country, thousands of consultants to help us implement it. And so, really some of the big benefits is that it is for forward-thinking providers, and we make it really turnkey. And it can be something that will either pay for itself or something that can even take providers into retirement. And so I want to be able to bring Larry back on to be able to dive into a little bit more into the financials of Nutrametrics, how it works for consultants, and how it works for health providers that are looking for a system, whether it's a retail system or something even beyond that, again, to make it so they can think about where income is going to come in after they're done even seeing patients, as they retire or transition into something else. So let's bring Larry back into the conversation.
Income with it. There's two ways to earn income. Retail profits, of course, and that's pretty simple. Product is moved through a practice. There's retail profit made. That's the difference between the cost that the health professional pays for the products and how much it retails for. And then there's earn ongoing income. So you can earn commissions based on the volume of products that are sold. Now, this to me is where it gets a little more exciting, because this is where there's leverage that's created. So you can earn $300 to $3,600 in commissions per week per BDC, Business Development Center, based on product sales. This is a sample retail model, and it's based on 5,000 patients in a doctor's office. Now, we're very conservative, and we look to implement with about 10% of the patient base. So here's what it looks like. Daily action, add 2.5 patients per day to a wellness protocol. This is based on percentages. Nobody has half patients, hopefully. But just for the purposes here, we break it down in this way. So it's based on working 200 days. So you can see here, a small option, patient option number 1, which is based on Nutrametrics Daily Essential Packets, which is actually 4 products in one. The cost for the health professional is $55. The suggested retail is $77, so that gives you a retail profit right in the pocket of the health professional for $22. And then based on 25 to 1,000 patients, you could see the profitability here. Now let's look at a medium option, which adds in a few more products. We have Nutrametrics Custom Cocktail. So this is taking some of our most popular products and mixing them all together into one. You can see the cost of the health professional is $93.35. The suggested retail is $123.02. Then the retail profit is just about $30. And then you can see, based on from 25 to 1,000 patients, how much revenue is earned there. That's in the bottom line. Now, that was in retail profit. Now let's take a look at the volume-based commission. So there's a point value that's assigned to every single product that moves through Nutrametrics and moves through an office. So you can see the total annual earnings at the bottom of the page here, with the retail profit and the commissions based on the business volume. So for 25 patients, we have an annual earnings of $8,400, and then all the way up to 1,000 patients for $336,000. So you can see the more patients that get on a protocol, the more profitable it becomes. And just this example here, you can see at the bottom, the patient daily cost is $2.57. Now, this is the monthly retail profit and business volume profit based on the medium option. Again, so this is, the patient daily cost we have at the bottom, which is $4.10 a day, or the cost of a latte. This is for their optimal health, so it's a much better way to spend that latte money. And then the annual earnings you could see based on 25 patients, which is $11,604, and then up to 1,000 patients, which is $472,140. Becomes quite lucrative the longer you go and the bigger it gets in the practice. So now there are 3 different kinds of health professional, not health professional accounts. There are 3 different types of accounts. The first one is called an HP1 account, or a health professional introductory account. I call it a starter account. It's a great way for doctors' offices to get started. They want to keep it super simple. So the health professionals move products to their practice and they earn retail profit. They also earn profits based on their own volume. Let's look at number 2, HP executive. That's a health professional with full access. So this is where the earning potential is unlimited. So the health professional gets full access to all the tools and services and products. It can earn as much money as they want because leverage is created with other health professionals or other consultants that are brought into an organization. And then, speaking of consultants, we have the Nutrametrics consultant role. This is a non-health professional with full access to all the tools and services that Nutrametrics provides. And the earning potential is unlimited with this as well. So here, this lays out the HP1 account. This is an illustration. So you can see at the top one there, it says U001, and under that is U002 and U003. This is all one office. All volume that gets generated from product sales, the volume is going to get placed into either the 002. This is all virtual, of course. This happens online on the computer. And the volume gets placed into the 002 or the 003, and it's going to float up, kind of like helium, to the 001. Here's how it looks. The first benchmark we're going to look for is when you reach 1,200 points on each side of that business development center, and there's a commission that's direct deposited for $300. And then we're going to accrue another 1,200 points on each side to get to 2,400 points on each side of the business development center for another royalty or commission of $300. And then we get to 3,600 points for a royalty of $300. And then finally, we have a little bump up of 1,400 more points on each side of the business development center, where it ends up at 5,000 points on each side for a $600 royalty, which brings us to $1,500 weekly potential. Now, as an HP1 account, that's where it's capped, $1,500 weekly, in addition to retail profit, okay? So we can look at additional revenue streams through group or referrals, of course, right? So there's leverage that can be created with this. So you can introduce your Nutrametric consultant, if you're a doctor or if you're a health professional, to your existing referral network. That Nutrametrics consultant will help you build a community of wellness-minded professionals to help increase overall sales. So here's where you could link arms with your competition, perhaps, or people that you refer business to, and you can generate income based on their sales as well. This is illustrating how it looks after a while. So you have some MDs, there's RNs, there's PAs, cardiologists, all sorts of different kinds of health professionals. And then it can go beyond health professionals too, and it can get into the world of other Nutrametrics consultants, all right? And anytime volume is generated, you receive 100% credit for all volume that's generated within that organization. Okay, that's how it starts to look after a while. All right, let me just get to this next slide here. So, leverage your existing referral network. So think about who you refer out to or who refers into you. There's a lot of different people that you're in contact with that builds a beautiful network that you can do business with. So option 2 and 3, we looked at option 1 as an HP1. Now we're looking at HP executive and Nutrametrics consultant. Here's where you can really build and really create leverage. You have full access and provide significant income potential to leverage additional business development. There are some additional requirements that include some training, and there's a basic monthly requirement. And it adds additional Nutrametric consultants to support the development of additional locations or referrals. So this is where you're thinking much more big picture beyond the one practice of one health professional. Nutrametrics consultants partner to provide business development and support. Okay, because that's really necessary. When you're really building this out and generating this incredible revenue, you're going to need more support along the way with other Nutrametrics consultants that, of course, will lead to other health professionals and build that asset. You can see here, again, those same numbers of how the volume is generated, right? To get to that $1,500 per week. But there's also a bonus that can happen in any week that any of those health professionals or Nutrametric consultants on your left and your right, in that same week, when they also go through what's called a pay cycle, meaning they've earned a total of $1,500, they've hit that 5,000 and 5,000 business volume mark, you're going to get a $600 bonus. So that's a potential of $2,100 per week. So next steps. So you want to schedule a discovery meeting with your nutrametrics consultant to determine the best ways to customize the nutrametric solutions to meet the needs of your patients in practice. Step 2, you're going to customize a selection of products. You're going to get a very small, depending on your practice, some practices may need a larger inventory of products, but remember, we're an online business, so you don't have to stock a large amount of products. And then open your nutrametrics account, and you'll open it with that product order. Step 4, schedule a staff implementation training to help them understand your vision, your wellness vision, and learn how to efficiently support your success. Step 5, train key staff members to support revenue-generating wellness programs. Then step 6, measure ongoing progress and make adjustments to ensure success for both the patients and the practice. So Nutrametrics is really committed to the success of the health professionals and to the nutrametrics consultants. And there's ongoing trainings to do that. There are tons of online resources, webinars, and things like that, Facebook support groups. But we also have some live trainings that happen throughout the country, or throughout the world right now, actually, that support this, this implementation into a practice. So for health professionals, we have nutrametrics implementation and product training. There's also courses that you can take and get CMEs and CEU credits. And then for staff or health professional, we have nutrametrics consultant training, which teaches the staff members and teaches you as a health professional how to support your success from the inside out. So you can see it's a complete suite of customizable tools to use to build this into a health professional practice. So the next steps is you have a lot of questions at this point, I'm sure. So you want to get those questions answered. Try some product. To me, that's really the first thing. Try utilizing some products and see what you like. There may be a couple of patients who you want to try some products out on to see what their results are. And then have your nutrametrics consultant customize a proposal to suit your unique office needs. That's for the health professionals that are on this webinar. If you're someone looking to be a nutrametrics consultant, the next steps for you is obviously to get to a nutrametrics consultant training and learn more about the company by the person who introduced this to you. Then evaluate it to see if nutrametrics is the right fit for you. It's not always the right fit for everybody. We're really looking for the right type of person who has a little bit of an above average desire to create something significant in their life, right? Have a lot of fun doing it and work in the wellness field and really make a difference, to create this or be a part of the wellness revolution instead of just going along with this state of sick care. So thank you all for listening today. I hope this was helpful, and I look forward to seeing you at the next Nutrametrics meeting.
Thank you again to Larry Rogowski, one of our trainers, one of our, great Nutrametrics partners, and someone who's really making a difference, not just in his local area, but across the country. You might be asking, though, who is this really best for? How does this work? Why do providers look towards Nutrametrics, and why do consultants look towards it as well? And so I just want to introduce to you 2 testimonials that we're going to play right now. One of them with Dr. Gentry, who's a pain management specialist, about his journey with Nutrametrics, how he got started, and one of our Nutrametrics consultants and someone who's trained and worked with us for years, Jane Chen, out of Arizona, and to be able to speak to both of them about their personal story, why they like Nutrametrics. I want you to be able to hear from both of them. So let's get Dr. Gentry's testimonial up now.
Hi, my name is Jerry Gentry, and I'm an interventional pain physician located in Houston, Texas. I became introduced to Nutrametrics via the products. I'm an avid workout enthusiast, and I was taking various supplements that I would get from GNC, the Vitamin Shop, and other stores. And once I started taking the Nutrametrics products, I loved how the way they made me feel, and I wanted to share it not only with my family and friends, but also with my patients as well. I was lucky enough to recently attend a Nutrametrics health professional program in Dallas, Texas. And one of the things that they stressed was the importance of the GI system, of the gut, and how it relates to your entire body. And since attending it, I've really been really stressing my patients' diet and trying to correct that. And I've seen differences in my practice. One thing that I'm doing in my practice now that I didn't do prior to being introduced to Nutrametrics is that I'm looking at the patient as a whole. I'm looking at their dietary considerations. I'm also drawing wellness labs in my practice as well. And I'm finding that a lot of patients are deficient in various vitamins, and I'm able to offer a great product through Nutrametrics as far as correcting those deficiencies. Well, smart health professionals should definitely consider Nutrametrics as a part of their practice, because there are patients out there, I mean, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry as far as vitamins and supplements, and patients are out there, they're buying it on their own. And for the most part, the stuff that they're buying is not, it's not up to high standards, in other words. It's not regulated by the FDA, so they're looking for solutions to their problems. And as a healthcare professional, they trust me. And so they trust what I say, and I can provide a better product, a higher quality product for them. Nutrametrics and TLS, they're changing the way I look at things and the way I treat my patients. I am able to offer them a much better alternative, higher quality products, and just teaching them to live a healthier life, because nobody wants to live to be 120 and be miserable every day or not be active. And so that's how I want to live my life, and I'm able to share that with my patients, and that makes me feel really, really good and confident. But one of the things I will stress is that you have to believe in the product, and I totally believe in the product. I take the products every day, and it's changed the way I feel, and I feel so good that I love sharing it with my friends, my family, and I want to share that with my patients as well. I love the Nutrametrics website. It helps me not only when I deal with patients, because when I'm explaining the Nutrametrics program to them, I can tell them about the site. I can tell them, hey, you can go there, you can look up whatever product that you're interested in, and it will give you the background. It will give you the, the mechanism of action, how the specific vitamin can address their needs. And another point that I really love about it is when I'm trying to introduce it to other healthcare professionals, a lot of times they want to know what's the science behind it. And that site goes into that in depth and detail, because at the end of every product, you have a list of references. And there are some physicians, they won't even talk to you. They don't want to even talk about it unless you can say, hey, this is backed by clinical research. And so that website has been invaluable as far as helping me grow my business. There are several things that distinguish Nutrametrics from other companies, including the education and training that you receive. There are a ton of products out there. There are different things that they focus on. So it's totally not a cookie cutter approach. It depends upon what you're looking for and what drives you, your passion. And you can, once you've identified that through Nutrametrics, you can focus on it and achieve all your goals.
Hi, my name is Jane Chen. Before Nutrametrics, I spent 22 years in high-tech industry, and in 2004, one advisory council member recommended me to participate in Nutrametrics pilot project. That's how I was introduced to Nutrametrics. What makes Nutrametrics different from other companies? A lot of them. Number one, everything is customizable, and we have a comprehensive solution. And we're not a one-trick pony that just push products on every single health practitioners. We actually look at their practices, and we try to help them grow in their practices, expand their offers to health and wellness, true healthcare. I strongly recommend that everybody evaluate Nutrametrics unfranchised business, because it really is a personal growth, and number one, you have access to a lot of health practitioners. As a health coach myself, I can only impact one person at a time. But when you look at the doctor, you work with them, you can change a doctor from waking up from 2 liters of a Diet Coke to only drinking water. And you're impacting, when the doctor change, really, you're impacting about 9,000 patients. That's huge. I can only speak for medical doctors because I work primarily with medical doctors, because a lot of them really, they know they have to offer lifestyle changes to their patients, but they're not educated in the old days. So Nutrametrics brings them the education, the solutions, the customizable solutions, even gene snip for them to be able to implement and bring into their practice. That was not possible before. The Nutrametrics site and TLS site are tremendous value or asset to doctors. A lot of their patients want to be healthy and they want more information, but the doctors do not have time for it, and they would just point them to the site. Nutrametrics site is amazing. You know, all these information is very complete, very comprehensive, and doctors can just refer to the site for further study, and that was a really great time saver for doctors, right? But on the TLS site also, you know, the videos, the resources, the menu plans, you know, even the recipes and exercise, lots of tips for even blogs, a huge asset for the doctors. You know, doctors want their patient to learn, but they just don't have that much time to talk that much. So these two sites are, I would say, a necessity for every doctor to leverage. I think Nutrametrics is perfect for doctors who truly care about their patients' health. And I have doctors that really want to create materials to help their patients, you know, educate them. But then we give them the solution for them to pick from. You know, it's customizable. It depending on practice, a patient population, you can choose different component of Nutrametrics to help their patients further their health.
Thank you again for being on this Nutrametrics webinar, and we really want to just give you what our next steps are for you. And the first thing is you know, pull out your phone and text the person who sent you this online webinar. And you owe it to yourself to get your questions answered. You spent the time on here with us today. There must be some questions that you have, and we want to make sure that we just take the time to be able to answer those. And that we have your feedback. We know that you've been on here for some reason, something, you know, really sparked some conversation, at least internally in your head, where you said, hey, maybe Nutrametrics is something that can provide a solution for me, whether it's for yourself, for your own health, for your family, your community, or if you have a practice, for your practice. You know, I have thousands of providers and consultants that work with us. Most of them, when they get started, they try a product. That's really great business advice. That's one of the easiest things you can do is to try something in our line, become, you know, a personal testimonial of, you know, what it's like. And so again, text the person that introduced you to be able to be on with us tonight to be able to try something like that. If you do have a practice, then go ahead and book a discovery appointment. It's about 15 minutes, and you again can do that with whoever pointed you in this direction today. Figure out if your practice is a good fit for Nutrametrics. Figure out what implementation might look like and some projections of, you know, where your practice could be in the next 5 or 10 years, you know, with Nutrametrics implemented in the practice. And, you know, your goals might be small, your goals might be big, but, you know, you have to just go ahead and get those questions answered and figure it out. So, you know, this isn't about figuring out tomorrow if you're, you know, going to a course or if you're doing a full-blown implementation. It's really just taking that next step and continuing the conversation. And that's what we were happy to do here with you today, is begin that dialogue and take a step in the direction towards, you know, true healthcare and away from sick care. Again, we do feel like at Nutrametrics Health Solutions that we are changing healthcare one health professional at a time. And we're really thankful that you are on here with us today to be a part of that movement. Again, my name is Sarah Tigender, Director of Sales with Nutrametrics, and thank you for your time and attention on this informational session today.